Alpha Lambda Delta 101, and I'm just going to spend a few minutes before our keynote speaker, who will be at that half hour. I'm just going to spend a few minutes just talking about Alpha Lambda Delta. This might be old information to some of you. I mean, I see board members here and advisors, and you know all this, but I'm just going to spend, for the sake of our newer officers or newer members, to spend a little bit of time talking about Alpha Lambda Delta. It is something that you had asked for when you signed up for Summit. And it just doesn't hurt to have a little refresher on who are we, what do we do, what are we all about, what's our history. Now, because I want to share web pages as well as a PowerPoint, I'm doing them side by side. I've never really done this before, so we'll see how this goes. But I tested it at the beginning. Lauren, I'm going to need your help to make sure I'm showing the right thing and does it all show correctly. Does that look good?
Looks great.
Okay, good. So, like I said, I have this PowerPoint over here, which I can share with everybody afterwards. We'll put it up online. But just a quick overview of ALD. Oops, I've already messed it up. I'm going to talk about our 5 pillars, and then a quick overview of sort of a year in the life of an ALD officer, and some officer resources. Okay, so the first thing is our history, and this is our webpage. Over on the other side, you can see our history. So I'm not going to read you our webpage, but just know that we've been around a long time, and we have a huge milestone birthday next year. So we turn 100. We were founded in 1924 at the University of Illinois. And so we are pretty excited about next year, 2024. We're planning some fun things, some exciting things, both at our summer board meeting and our fall conference next year, and everything in between. So we've been around a while. You can see some of the main milestone things that have happened to us over the years: establishment of our fellowships and scholarships, our awards, national offices, that sort of thing. So you can find all that on our history page on our website. We started at the University of Illinois. I know that a few folks are here, including Susan, I think I saw, from Purdue. So that was our second chapter in 1926. So you might want to celebrate that in 2026. And then we've really expanded quite a bit since then. We are officially at over 400. We have been recognized at over 400 universities and colleges in the country, including, and in the world, including 2 international chapters. So we're pretty excited about that as well. We induct between 20,000 and 25,000 new members every year. I'm not sure if you knew that or are interested to know that, but that makes us a bit on the larger side compared to other honor societies. We are led by a national office where I work, where Lauren works. Christine, I think, was here. I'm not sure if Christine is still here. So Christine Cohen is here from our national office. And all the interns who you'll meet also work for us. But we also have a board of directors, of whom I think some are here. If you all could turn your cameras on, I'm going to stop sharing just for a second. And I'm going to ask all the board members, there's a Biha, if you could all turn your cameras on and wave. This is our board of directors. There we go. See, when you turn your camera, look at all. Everybody's there, smiling faces, very nice. Okay. Okay, so this is our board of directors, a great group of people that I think most of them are here on our call today. You too could be on the screen here, and a student member at large if you are interested. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. We have 98 scholarships we give out, which I hope you're familiar with, and if not, keep your eye on those for next year. We've passed all the deadlines for our national scholarships. February 1st, March 1st, and April 1st are the 3 big deadlines. So keep an eye on those for next year. And you can look at our scholarship page for more information about scholarships. But we also, what I really wanted to point out too for officers and any student member here, is our awards programs. And so check out our Order of the Torch and Maintain the Flame Award application process. We do give membership awards for increases in membership. And then you are soon, if you're an officer, you're going to get an email soon about nominating your advisor to be advisor of the year. So keep an eye out for those announcements. Okay, so let me talk about the 5 pillars that we've really been developing, I think, over the years. And I talked to a lot of new advisors about these 5 things. And I think for a new student, either just joining Alpha Lambda Delta or a new officer, it might just give you some context for, so, okay, we invite students to join, they become members, then what? What are we supposed to do? What is our chapter supposed to look like on campus? And I would encourage you to just think about these 5 areas. And some of them we're going to flesh out a little bit more, but I just want to point out the 5 that I like to talk about. So pillar number 1 is academics. We are an academic honor society. You did well your first semester, your first year. That's why you're here. That's why you're invited. That's why you joined. And so we hope that members of Alpha Lambda Delta want to keep that going, want to continue their academic excellence and maintain that. It's not required that you do. You don't get kicked out if you don't maintain a 3.5, which is our minimum. But I think it's safe to assume that high achieving students, especially in your first year, want to continue that path. And so how can your chapter play a role in that? In so many ways. You can support each other. You are now this community on campus. You're all members. You were inducted in the same year for 1 year, and then you're going to get new ones the next year. And now maybe you're a junior and you're going to have another whole group of members who come in. So on any 1 year, you've got 4 years worth of members. So there are so many things you could do as a chapter through chapter activities and events that support each other maintaining academic excellence. So you probably have a resource center, an academic resource center, tutoring center, academic skills, academic workshops. So find those departments on campus, find those folks that work in those areas. There's one picture here of a librarian. I Googled librarian and found this wonderful picture. How about you invite a librarian into a meeting or an event, have food at some space on campus, invite all the members and talk about how to write a research paper and the ins and outs of the library and how to access all the resources of the library. Study groups, have a workshop on time management. There are so many things you can be doing to support each other academically this year, next year, and until you graduate. So use the resources you have. The last thing I would say about this academic piece is, I'm gonna make this bigger actually, is to encourage it in others. So you can encourage it in your new first year group of students. So there's going to be a presentation in a minute on fall things you can do in the summer and the fall. And I think this is a good one to inspire academic excellence in your freshman students who haven't been invited yet, but maybe will be motivated to do well and get invited in the spring. Okay, so that's the first one, academics. Think of all the things you can be doing on campus as a chapter, as a group around supporting academics. The next one is scholarship. So we offer scholarships, which I talked about and mentioned, and this could be a variety of different programs you could offer in your chapter. How about, again, the scholarship office? Most universities and colleges probably have a scholarship office. And so find that office and bring in the director and have them come to a meeting and talk about how to apply for scholarships, how to find scholarships to apply for, then how to apply to them, how to write a good essay, how to ask for a really good letter of reference and make sure that it's a solid letter. All sorts of resources you could be doing to help each other find all the money that's out there, of which there are millions of dollars in scholarships. So that's a second area that you could program around. The third one, of course, is service. that many students are engaged in. You might belong to other groups that do service activities, but Alpha Lambda Delta chapters should be engaged in service. It could be anything you want: cleanup of a neighborhood, working with elderly, Habitat for Humanity. We do create a theme or suggest a theme every year. This year it is refugees. That theme is sort of winding down, and there'll be another whole new theme that we'll announce over the summer. So just tons of things you could be doing as a chapter around service activities. The fourth pillar is leadership. So we encourage you to learn leadership skills. This was the #1 topic you all wanted to hear about at the summit today. So I want to point you into a couple of different resources, and one of which is your own campus probably has some leadership activities they offer to students. So check your student activities office, student life office, campus life, student orgs, student leadership, might be called student leadership, where it's probably related to the student activities office or somewhere in student affairs. They're probably offering campus-based workshops on a variety of leadership development topics. So take advantage of that. You don't have to recreate the wheel, but go find that office on campus and find out what the schedule of activities are of leadership workshops they're offering, and bring your chapter together for those topics. You could also then, of course, participate in the ALD Leads Certified program. Thank you, Lauren, for putting all those links in chat, so check chat. But ALD Leads Certified is one of our programs that's unique to Alpha Lambda Delta. Really cool program, self-paced online leadership development. So if you came here today looking for leadership development and how to be a better leader, I strongly urge you to sign up for ALD Leads Certified. It comes with your membership, doesn't cost anything, self-paced, take it at your own pace, but it's going to be a lot of the topics that are going to be useful to you in your career and future. Okay, how am I doing on time? Last but not least is a variety of things. I used to call this social, but I like the word belonging better. That Alpha Lambda Delta chapter should be an inclusive community on your campus. And so students should feel that they have a place there, the members who join, that they belong in the chapter, they belong at your university. And so you want to have social things. It doesn't all have to be academic and serious. There can be a lot of fun with your chapters. So do not hesitate to plan programs and engage with each other just for fun. Go on a hike, have an ice cream social, go to a sports game on your campus or in the community. But it's also, you're going to hear another workshop and later today around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I would encourage you to include that in our belonging pillar, is to help people truly feel like they belong and to be inclusive. And you'll get more information about that. But don't forget to have fun. That Alpha Lambda Delta chapter should be fun. And making lifetime memories and lifetime friendships. Okay, so just a quick overview. Again, this is fairly officer focused. If you're not a chapter officer, maybe you will be someday, but it still might give you a sense of a year in the life of an ALD chapter. So just really briefly, to us, it's year round. It's 12 months a year. There's no beginning and end to Alpha Lambda Delta for us from our perspective. So just think about the summer months as ways that you can promote Alpha Lambda Delta. There's going to be a whole session from our interns on this, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on this piece, especially about promoting ALD they're going to talk about. But I will say that summer, early fall, but summer could be a good time for new officers to get together, maybe get together with new and outgoing if possible. Think about what you want to plan for the year ahead, and then be engaged in all the ways to promote, which again is going to be addressed by our interns later today. The fall these are just some ideas, tabling on campus. This is a big one I'll talk about in a second. If your campus has first year seminars, those it's so important. I said it twice apparently on the PowerPoint. Okay, so do that twice. Just kidding. But if you can get into your freshman seminars to talk about ALD, that's great. Don't forget about the conference in Denver, Colorado this year. If you can go to that, decide who's going to attend. Not everybody can go, but a couple of you can. And this would be the semester for the programs that I mentioned. This is a really important one. If you don't know your online presence, I would really encourage you and actually plead with you to look for, Google yourself the chapter on your campus. Do you have any presence on a website? And in particular, is it an old, outdated website through campus orgs or whatever, OrgSync, I think they're called, or Presence. There's a bunch of different software companies, universities are using now to manage student organizations. So check out what your listing looks like and make sure that it's up to date. That's sort of the key takeaway here. And then I just discovered, here's an example of an Instagram account. Please make sure that you, if you have one, that you're sharing that, passing on the passwords and login access. I just discovered a chapter who has 3 Instagram accounts because nobody knew the password to one, so they just created another one. And then nobody knew that a few years later to that one, so they created a third. And so there's 3 Instagram accounts out there that people are finding, and it's not great. So try and take stock of what your online presence is as a chapter and make sure that it's up to date. And then spring, of course, is continuing the programming that you're doing. It also is our key invitation season. Not every chapter invites in the spring, but 95% of them do. So it's time to start looking at your freshmen who started in the fall and did well their fall semester, host information sessions, have an induction ceremony, and then all the scholarship deadlines to think about, but certainly promoting scholarships. And if you do want to be on the board, as I mentioned earlier, we have the student member at large applications are due in January. So that is a quick overview of the spring semester, although winding down would be identifying new officers, making sure we know who they are. You might have a retreat. And then we do, as I mentioned in that page on the awards, we have that Order of the Torch award that you might want to apply for, and that is due May 10th. Annual reports are due May 10th. That's typically the advisor that fills that out. And then I did mention this, you will get an email that hopefully you can nominate your advisor for the advisor of the year. So that tends to be the spring semester. I encourage you to take pictures at events, and anything you're doing, let us know, send those pictures, tag us on social media, and we'll use these pictures a lot. We'll use them on social media, we'll put them on our website. So please take pictures. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention is officer resources, and this is a big one that I'm not going to read to you, but I do want to show you, I don't know why that's showing, the page itself, and I believe Lauren just put that probably in chat. Yep, there it is. So if nothing else, make sure you know about this page. So it is the officers resource page. It has pretty much everything we want to share with you, or anything you need to find is going to be on this resource page. So I would just encourage you to bookmark it, or whatever you do these days, to make sure that you're aware of what's there. There's just a ton of information in the handbook, downloadable, customizable documents in the resource library. Here's our leadership program I mentioned. This has our crest and logo and things you can download to create your own, whether it's a t-shirt design or flyer or letter or something. You could use our logo for that. So I think that was my last slide. Oh no, social media. So we would love to, if you're on social media, particularly Instagram is our biggest account, and where we post more engaging and more content on Instagram. Not so much Twitter these days, a little bit on Facebook. So check us out at National ALD.